And welcome back, everybody, to another episode, yet another week, hanging out here at the Box Office Dynasty. We're your hosts. I'm Josh.
And I'm Jack.
How you doing, Jack?
I'm doing pretty good. I'm a little tired today, but I'm doing good. How you doing, man?
Yeah. No, I'm good. You know, it's late August, and I was actually just talking with someone about this earlier today. August is like the Sunday of months, and especially the summer, but it's like the Sunday of the calendar. You know what I mean? Everyone's just kind of relaxing, and
it's like the lazy day, the lazy month, you know?
It is the lazy month of the year for sure.
Yeah.
So I get that. And we're truly in the dog days.
I know.
Which is why it makes sense that there's a new movie coming out, The Dog Stars, even though nobody has heard about it because the marketing for that has been terrible.
There's that Diary of a Kid movie, Dog Days.
There is the Dog Days.
Don't sleep on that.
Yeah. It's, Roderick Rules is better though.
Roderick Rules is actually, if you look up Diary of a Kid Roderick Rules on Letterboxd, and I implore everyone to do it, it has like a 3.8 on Letterboxd or something.
I'm actually going to do that right now.
I think it's got to be, I think it's like a 3.6 or higher.
Jeez. It's a 3.8.
3.8. That's I mean, it's a really good movie. That's really funny.
You know what the first one is?
3.5.
Oh, you're close.
3.6?
Wrong way.
3.4.
3.4.
Damn, I had hope that it could have been 3.6.
Dog Days is 3.2, and then the new one that they made with the new cast, The Long Haul.
Yeah, it's got to be a 2.1.
1.6.
Damn. That's crazy. But shout out Roderick Rules, 3.8 is crazy.
Roderick does fucking rule, dude. You know what else rules? This week's episode. We have a great one for you guys at home. Of course, we'll have our usual news nuggets in a second. We are going to be picking a new Bible study film. I love picking a new one. Very exciting. We're going to roll a new one. We got our box office numbers. We're going to have it's another split episode, folks. I will be reviewing the new film that just went wide, Tony, the Anthony Bourdain biopic starring Dominic Sessa from A24. And then Jack is going to review season 3 of House of the Dragon, right? It's the 3rd season now. That's pretty crazy.
Yes, it is.
And then I am going to take back over to review the film Teenage Sex and Death at Camp Miasma, the new Jane Schoenbrunn film. The filmmaker behind I Saw the TV Glow. I did not see the TV Glow. I did not watch it.
I did, but I hated that movie.
I know. It's a very divisive film. A lot of people love it. A lot of people don't love it. I haven't seen it, but I have seen Teenage Sex and Death at Camp Miasma, and we'll talk about it. So, great episode coming up. I'm very excited. We can just get into the news nuggets, I guess.
I remembered one of mine, so I'll go in between yours if you don't mind.
In between, okay.
Yeah, you got 4, so maybe you drop 2.
4.
I'll drop 1. You drop the next 2.
Okay, I'm with that. You know what's funny too is like I usually have like 9 or 10 of these, so 4 for me is this is a light week, folks. It's the Sunday, okay? All right, my first one. Well, now I'm afraid of taking yours. I would feel bad.
No, you didn't. You don't. There's no shot.
Are you sure? Are you sure? Okay.
You're not on my side of the internet, I don't think.
Okay, all right. Well, I don't know. That could be taken a lot of different ways, dude. What the fuck? Shit. What kind of internet are you on?
Yeah, we don't go on the same websites.
Yeah, I don't think we do. My web is not as dark as your web. That's for sure. Okay. Dave Bautista is officially playing Kratos in the God of War series on Amazon Prime after the original star Ryan Hurst suffered that serious bicep injury during production. So Bautista is taking over. The show will now restart filming from scratch, and all the footage that they already got will not be used in the final cut of the show. So Dave Bautista is the new Kratos.
This is interesting because didn't Dave Bautista just lose like 60 pounds of muscle because he thought he was too meaty? And his whole thing, I remember an interview with him being like, he looked, his size and his mass, he thought he looked so strange next to regular sized people. So he lost all that weight and he's like a super skinny guy now. But he's got to build it all back on to play Kratos.
I didn't even know that. I'm trying to think. I mean, he was in that M. Night Shyamalan movie a few years ago. and he definitely was like slimmer down for that. I think
That's the
he's
movie. Was it the one with the cabin?
yeah, Knock at the Cabin.
That's
That's
the
right.
movie he was like, I realized I was too big.
Yeah. Okay. Oh, yeah. You're right. Okay, I see that. I mean, then what was the movie where he? Oh, it was the one you watched. It was the Wrecking Crew. He's like noticeably.
He's
I
skinnier.
didn't see it, but yeah, he's noticeably skinnier.
Yeah, yeah. So it's interesting that he's taking a role that people complained that the last guy wasn't big enough, and that guy was huge.
Because I think he knows that that's like his calling card is being a big guy. Like we all know Dave Bautista is more than just his appearance.
He's a
We
great
know he's
actor.
a very talented actor. But I think just in terms of like the look for Hollywood, that is his look.
Yeah,
and
I like this
that's just who
casting.
he is.
I like it.
It's interesting. It's a bigger name than Ryan Hurst. It's interesting that the second time around, like it kind of feels like years from now, we're going to look back at this the same way we look back at Back to the Future with Michael J. Fox, who wasn't the original Marty McFly, and nobody remembers the original Marty McFly.
But he's a bigger name than Ryan Hurst. It's like Don Cheadle taking over for Terrence Howard. Like Don Cheadle was a bigger name than Terrence Howard, and it's just like you just forget about the first guy.
It's it's for any sports listeners out there, it's Tom Brady taking over for an injured Drew Bledsoe. There's so many examples of this where it's like you have one guy and then a bigger player, a bigger name comes in.
Yeah. So hopefully, and usually it works out, I think. So
apparently I think they're still committed to like a 2-season story here. So that means Dave Bautista is committing to a 2-season story with Amazon Prime.
I like it.
All right. Yeah. So I'll give one more. And then you can take over, and it's another recast. Kit Harington has been cast as Gilderoy Lockhart in season 2 of the Harry Potter TV series on HBO Max. Nicholas Hoult, who was originally cast as Lockhart, has left the series due to scheduling conflicts.
Yeah, I don't know. I actually think Kit Harington is a better choice. When I saw Nicholas Hoult, I thought that was a little strange. I also think Kit Harington voices Gilderoy Lockhart in the audiobooks.
Yes, he does.
So, I mean, the voices for them in the audiobooks are really good cast. I kind of wish they just went with that cast, but I'm fine with this. I like it.
Yeah, I mean, as someone, I honestly don't care that much because it's not a show that's really on my radar anyway, just for a lot of reasons. But sure, just like theoretically thinking about it, yeah, I actually agree. I think Kit Harington is better for Lockhart.
Yeah, for when I eventually watch that show or hear about it or whatever.
At some point, I'll be like, oh, okay, so it did work out. There we go. Yeah.
Exactly.
All right, go ahead.
Yeah, so Lanterns has not been confirmed for season 2, but showrunner Chris Mundy and writer Christopher Cantwell are already breaking down and outlining a story and writing scripts. And I think that's really interesting to announce before the show even airs its second episode. That's all I got. That's what I got. I think it's interesting that they're already announcing they're basically ready for season 2.
I think they're basically just saying they have a story to tell, and it's now in the hands of HBO and Warner Bros. To determine if they want to renew it for another season.
Yeah, and we already know Jon Stewart is going to be in the second Superman movie, so I wonder if the second season will have anything to do with what happens in that movie. I don't know. Could be pretty cool.
It is very possible that like by the end of the season, something or like an end credit or something will play into, the Man of Tomorrow film that we are getting.
Yes, that'd be awesome.
All right. Yeah, that's really cool. Well, I still have to start that. I know you watched the first episode. That's something that's on my radar. I don't want to get into it, but I'm pretty sure I had the big twist spoiled for me, unfortunately, because one of these big pages just posted it without a spoiler warning.
That's
like I opened up Instagram and it was the very first thing I saw, and there was no like spoiler warning. It was just right there. I was like,
that sucks. Because
I don't want to talk about it. I don't want to say it for anyone who hasn't seen it. When I watch it, we'll talk about it. But I was
when the show ends, we'll get a whole
when the show ends, we'll talk. But I'm just saying that I saw that. I was like, oh, okay. That's Anyway, National Treasure 3 is happening. So that doesn't suck. National Treasure, the third one, fans for years have been asking for the third in the trilogy, and it is happening. Original director John Turteltaub has confirmed he will be making the film, and Nicolas Cage is expected to reprise his role in said film. So,
yeah, dude.
There we go.
I think this came out a couple months ago, no?
I think there were rumors.
Oh, okay.
I think John Turteltaub just like cleared it up and was like, "Yeah, this is something that I plan on doing."
Did you ever watch the TV show?
I did not. I saw the 2 films, but I never saw the show.
I know one of the. You know how there's the girl, and then there's the guy, and then there's Nicolas Cage. There's 3 of them, like the trio.
Yeah.
I think the guy who's not Nicolas Cage shows up in that show, so it's like in universe. But I'm very excited. I love the 2 movies. I've never seen the show. I don't really have interest in the show, but I'm excited by this. Nicolas Cage coming back. I hope they get the original cast back too for the other people. It'd be really cool.
Yeah, I think we've all wanted it. I think now is the time. I saw someone's reaction on Twitter. They were like, "This is a recession indicator, but it's a lot of fun."
Nicolas Cage needs money.
Nicolas Cage doing National Treasure 3, but I'm very excited.
Now, do we know? Because for some reason, a movie like this, to me, coming from Disney, kind of screams like they would put it on Disney Plus, like straight to streaming.
Oh, I wouldn't be surprised. I'm not like saying that's the case, but I wouldn't be surprised if it's.
So that's something that worries me. Being a Disney product is like National Treasure 3 probably doesn't have the grab that other movies would have. Because I love that movie. I know it's got like a cult following, but I don't think it reaches a wider audience than that. So I hope they release it in theaters, but I don't know. Disney Plus is right there.
I completely agree, and I'm with you. I'm also someone who really enjoys those movies. I don't think they're like incredible, but I am just a fan. I really enjoy them.
They're so fun.
They're fun movies. And I'm very happy to see them do a third one. I don't want them to like milk it, but a trilogy,
Yeah.
like, because the thing is, I don't think Nicolas Cage and John Turteltaub would return, after a third one. Like, I do think this is it.
It's got to be the
so like, okay, yeah. So yeah, but I'm not sure. You're right. Like, this does scream straight to Disney Plus, and that makes me worried about the quality of the production that they're going to put into it. But we'll see. We'll see. And my last news nugget. The first 2 I had were all casting related, and these other 2 that I have are movie sequel related. And this one is, I just added this 10 minutes before we started recording. Like, I just saw the news, and I'm breaking it here. We are getting a sequel to the film How to Lose a Guy in 10 Days, the hit rom-com from like 2008 with Kate Hudson and Matthew McConaughey. Kate Hudson is attached as a producer, and the studio says they intend to have her and Matthew McConaughey reprise their roles. So they're not officially committed to the project, but the studio, which is, by the way, Paramount, intends to have them reprise their roles. We'll see, but we are getting a sequel. This has been we talk about cult classics. This has been a cult classic for many years, so we're finally getting a follow-up.
I've actually never seen it.
Really?
Yeah, but I think Kate Hudson is going to do it if she's executive producer or whatever. But them saying, "Oh, we want Matthew McConaughey," doesn't breed confidence, I don't know if they can get him on there.
Yeah, but like, Matthew McConaughey is talented enough that he can do anything he wants, and we all know that. I mean, he's an Oscar winner, so he could take any project he wants.
Yeah.
But he's also not doing a ton these days, and he's doing things like The Lost Bus. So what, is he really too busy that he can't do the sequel if they're doing the sequel when it's such a hit film?
Yeah. Maybe he's like, I don't know. Maybe he's just like giving up.
I mean, okay, I don't know if I'd go that far.
Like done acting.
He doesn't, I know he doesn't usually do those kinds of like rom-com, like, dreamy, male lead roles anymore. Like, he used to be that. And then he went on that crazy run in the 2010s when he did Dallas Buyers Club. He did Interstellar. He did True Detective. You know what I mean? And he kind of broke out of that. So I understand that, like, that perspective of it, but I don't know. Come on, it's been a long enough. You're not typecast anymore. You're Matthew McConaughey, so do the sequel. That's what I say. That's it. That's all I have for my news nuggets.
Are we picking a Bible study number?
I believe we are.
Yeah, we are. Okay. All right, gang. So, this is our film Bible, our book of movies, the 1,000 essential films to see by the New York Times. What we do is we ask you, the viewer, to comment a random number between 23 and 1,265, and that number correlates to a movie deemed essential by the New York Times to watch, and then we watch and review that movie. So today, we're gonna spin the wheel and figure out what movie we're watching. So let me spin this mother, and look at it, watch it spinning. It's spinning real nice. And we are watching number 777. Thank you to whoever commented in 777.
Whoa.
Let's see what movie that is. You ready, Josh?
Oh, yeah, I'm ready.
Number 777 is a movie called A New Leaf from 1971. Josh, what is A New Leaf?
A New Leaf, directed by Elaine May, starring Walter Matthau. Ooh, I like Walter Matthau. Elaine May, Jack Weston, George Rose, James Coco, and Doris Roberts. The film description: after running out of funds, Henry Graham, a carefree playboy, plots to marry and murder wealthy botanist Henrietta Lowell.
I get the leaf part. I get the leaf part now.
There you go. Yeah. A new leaf,
all right.
like turning it.
You know what I honestly doesn't sound super interesting to me. But
Walter Matthau is fucking goated, dude. I love Walter Matthau. I know what you're gonna say. Who's
you
Walter
know what I'm
Matthau?
gonna ask?
Yeah.
No,
Walter Matthau. What? You're gonna ask who's Walter Matthau?
No, I'm gonna ask how long is this movie?
Oh, that too. A New Leaf is 102 minutes long.
That's a good movie about a leaf. I like that. Leaf movie should be less than 120.
Is that like where is that standard like written in stone?
It's a personal hill I die on.
Just if a Leaf film is 121 minutes,
that is bullshit.
You're not watching that shit.
No, I'm not watching the last 18 minutes of that.
It's got a 4.0 on Letterboxd.
Most of these have good reviews, and we'll see. A New Leaf.
You know what? The last one that we watched, Lovely and Amazing, only had a 3.1, to be fair.
I know.
This has a 4.0.
Well, this has a thank 4. you to whoever commented, 777. We are going to be watching and reviewing A New Leaf in 2 episodes. So it's always exciting to see what we get.
Yeah, we will. You notice that like we usually get like low numbers. I feel like this is one of the higher numbers that we have gotten.
Yeah, I mean, we have such a variety of numbers. We literally have like 30 different numbers between 23 and 1,069. So it's like we have so many options. Lots of double digits, obviously a lot of triple digits, some quadruple digits, but now we're getting the high ones, which is nice.
Even when you look at like our list of Bible study films that we have watched, we've watched 22. Mm-hmm. A New Leaf will be our 23rd. All you have to do is look at the first letter of the title because, the list that we're picking from, it's alphabetical. So you got like G, I'm going by my ranking list. You got like G, M, A, G, B, A, B, like a lot of, you know what I mean?
A lot of early ones.
S and M, but B, B.
That's really,
you know what I mean? Another A.
Right. You can sort them alphabetically.
And A. Oh yeah, that's true.
Yeah,
sort by film name.
A, B, 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 D, F, G, G, J, K, L, 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 M, 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 S, S.
So we've never had a film in the alphabet beyond S. So the Shooting Party is the highest one. I'm curious what number that was. That was 999. We have never picked a movie
in the
over thousands.
Comment higher numbers. It's from 1,000. It goes up to 1,265.
Well, comment whatever, but yeah, I mean, I'm just saying, we have never. It's kind of funny that the highest we've gotten is right before 1,000. We have picked 999.
Well, at some
and this
point
one is 777.
We're going to be done with all the 333, 444, 555 because we've done a bunch of those already.
Yeah, because people like to comment those. You know what I
Yeah,
mean?
yeah.
But anyway, okay. I just thought that was interesting. You know what I mean?
It's a good point you're
It's
making
like,
because
yeah,
that's so
I feel like we
real.
usually get. So this one is not going to be the lowest. It's an N, but it is, it's down there. Um, or I guess it's up there in terms of, I should say it's up there. So,
Yeah, well, thank you guys for commenting. We love to hear it.
alrighty. Yeah, dude, thank you for commenting. And in 2 episodes, we're going to watch and review A New Leaf. That's
Hell
exciting.
yeah.
All right. Now we got some numbers to work through, folks, and these numbers are box office related ones. They're the box office numbers, and they are particular to the weekend of August 21st through the 23rd of the year 2026. Before we get into the top five, there's always something before the top five these days. That's just how the box office is. It's been freaking wild this year. I just want to shout out Obsession once again. Kind of crazy. We're in late August and we're still talking about Obsession's box office. Insane.
Yeah. When did that come out? April?
That came out in May, I believe. But still, I mean, 3 months. It's been 3 months.
Yeah.
And this independent horror film is still being talked about. I don't know if I still see it here. I don't think it really listed anymore on the domestic box office this past weekend, but it did officially cross $500 million worldwide.
Yeah.
$500 million for Obsession. It is the biggest original film of the decade and one of the biggest horror movies of all time.
That's wild. That's awesome.
Yeah. Insane. Absolutely insane. $500 million for Obsession. What?
It's a crazy year.
One of the crazy year, but also just in general, one of the greatest box office stories I think ever. There's a few of those this year, but this is like one of the best.
Yeah, we're seeing it real time. You're getting your info real time from us right now, folks.
We're living through history, and you're living it with it through the box office dynasty. These are like the FDR fireside chats.
Yeah, we're giving the info to the people. We are the men of the people.
We're really just a couple of men serving the people. We're just chatting by the fire, folks. The fire in August. Okay, so moving on to our top 5. In 5th place, in its second weekend of release, making $9 million, is The End of Oak Street. The End of Oak Street has crossed $86 million worldwide. It had an $85 million budget, so it is now tracking to finish between $120 and $140 million worldwide, which would not be very good for this movie. That would definitely be a box office disaster.
Yeah, that's a shame. We really enjoyed that, and I see that a lot of people really enjoy it, but it's not. I don't think the word of mouth. I think it has a lot of haters too, and I don't think the word of mouth is helping it as much as it should.
I don't think. Yeah, I mean, critical response to it was mixed. Audiences seem to like it. I mean, we liked it at least.
Yeah.
But it didn't have the best marketing. It kind of suffered from coming in the weeks that followed of both The Odyssey and Spider-Man Brand New Day. It was like the next big blockbuster after those.
Yeah.
And I just don't think that there was that much hype for it because of those reasons. So I think that's hurting it.
I've seen a lot of people online talk about boycotting that movie because the studio made an AI podcast. Did you know that?
Yeah.
With the dog.
I did read that. I forgot about that.
That's not the movie's fault or the actors or anybody involved with the production of the movie. It's the studio and whatever. And the marketing team. They made an AI podcast of the dog Starbuck, who's in the movie. And it's just like dogs talking, but it's AI. It's obviously AI, and there's no hiding that. And people are rightfully mad, and they're boycotting the movie in protest of that.
Yeah. All right. So there's a few different factors at play here for sure.
What that is dumb hurting. Move. You're in marketing and you're doing that. You're a fucking idiot. You should get fired.
Yeah. I agree. After the box office failure that this movie is going to prove to be, they probably will get fired.
Probably.
Someone sure will. The studio, who's the studio? Warner Bros. Yeah, that is not going to be a good return on investment for them. In fourth place, in its second weekend of release, with another $9.1 million, this movie beat The End of Oak Street in both of their second weekends by $0.1 million, by literally $100,000. And it is Paw Patrol, the Dino movie. So once and for all, folks, we know who the true reigning top Dino movie is, and it is Paw Patrol, the Dino movie.
Wow, good for those puppies, dude.
Good for them pups. I can't believe they beat out the Anne Hathaway, Ewan McGregor dinosaur movie.
A movie about a dog and dinosaurs versus a movie about dogs and dinosaurs.
Yeah. And so that's what I'm saying. I mean, they are comparable, and it's clear who is the superior film. It even has made more money. It has $103.4 million worldwide. Paw Patrol, the Dino movie, is the superior dinosaur summer movie.
The budget is probably so much less too.
And I'm sure it is. So even for coming in fourth, it's already congrats to Paw Patrol. Really.
It's a win.
In third place in its sixth weekend of release, dropping to third place in its sixth weekend of release with $19.5 million is The Odyssey. So a slow and steady decline. That is going to be expected. I mean, again, it is 6 weeks out. It declined 17.4% from its prior weekend. It is up to it's almost at $1.5 billion worldwide. It is doing just fine. The Odyssey, actually, this is a good place for me to, if I can find I didn't move the note down because I didn't. Here, if The Odyssey can hit $1.6 billion, which right now I think it's fair to track it around there to finish, it would have made more money in its theatrical run than the following movies worldwide: Avatar, Fire and Ash, Top Gun Maverick, Barbie, Super Mario Galaxy, and Deadpool and Wolverine. And The Odyssey would have beaten all of that if it ends up finishing where it's tracking at $1.6 billion. The ones that shock me the most is Top Gun, Maverick, and Barbie. I can't believe. I mean, because we already knew it. It's already past Deadpool and Wolverine.
Yeah.
So, I mean, insane. I mean, it's doing insane numbers.
Yeah, Super Mario was the first $1 billion movie of the year, so it's just kind of interesting that Odyssey's going to top it.
Was it? Yeah, it would have been able to top it. I think it probably already has. I'll check that at the end real quick.
Yeah.
In second place in its opening weekend of release, so the top opening release of the weekend, $25.3 million is the newest chapter of the Insidious franchise, Insidious Out of the Further. I'm a big horror fan. I've only seen the first 2 or 3 Insidious movies. This is not a franchise I'm super checked into.
How many are there?
That is a good question.
I really only thought this. I thought this was the third or fourth.
Nah, this is definitely the 6th.
Oh, I'm not a huge horror guy, so.
Yeah, I mean, I love horror. This is just not a franchise I'm tapped into. Yeah, this is the 6th entry into that franchise.
Okay.
So, I mean, there is still an audience there for sure. It is a franchise. It is a well-established horror franchise. So I am not surprised. I don't think it's going to hold up well in the following weeks, but I'm not surprised that it was, especially for The Odyssey being out for 6 weeks, primarily only being really propped up still by its stranglehold over IMAX, which it will continue to have into September. But the Insidious will probably drop, but it's a good opening. And then in first place, in its 4th weekend of release with another $39 million in the United States, is Spider-Man Brand New Day, which is now at $2.2 billion worldwide.
God, dude.
So that's going to take me to worldwide real quickly. Let's just check in on that. We have $5 billion movies: Spider-Man Odyssey, Toy Story 5, Michael, and Super Mario Galaxy. Spider-Man at 2.2 is so insane. Yeah, Odyssey already did pass Super Mario Galaxy.
Valid.
Odyssey is number 2.
Spider-Man stays on top. That's my goat.
Yeah, man. Where does this rank all time, actually? Where are we at with that? All time. I mean, it's actually insane. Not domestic, worldwide. All time worldwide. Spider-Man Brand New Day is sixth highest grossing film of all time already, right now, as of recording this podcast. It will likely pass Titanic, overtake to go into the top 5. It will also likely pass Neja 2 to take over 4th. And it will probably pass Avatar The Way of Water eventually to take 3rd. I think it will stop there. I don't think it'll take over Avatar or Endgame, because there is a bit of a gap after that, and I do think that there will be enough movies coming out, and it still has competition, and yada yada yada. I think Spider-Man Brand New Day, currently at 6, will finish as the 3rd highest grossing film of all time.
That's monumental. Good. All right, so you're making that.
That's my
prediction.
Current prediction.
Yeah,
I think it will. I don't think it's a crazy one. It will pass Titanic and Asia 2 for sure.
Yeah, it's only in its 4th week right now.
It's about to. Yeah. It's within 100, less than 100,000 dollars.
Yeah, so pass it by the time this episode comes out.
Yeah. Then it becomes okay. When can it pass it? Way of Water, but it won't be that far behind, so it will. I really don't think that that's the bold prediction will be saying maybe it can get 2nd, maybe it can get 1st.
How much does Endgame have at 1st?
Well, Endgame's 2nd right now.
Oh, how much does Avatar have at 1st?
Avatar at 1st is at 2.923.
Yeah, that's tough. Oh yeah, we talked about this last week. I don't know. I don't know.
Endgame, could it beat Endgame at 2? Endgame's at 2.799. Endgame is right at the border of 2.8 billion. It's right there.
My prediction is Spider-Man falls somewhere between 2.4 and 2.6.
If that happens, it will lock in 3rd.
Yeah, I have a feeling it's going to be like 2.56 or 2.58, something like that. Like it's going to be in between there.
If it gets up to 2.58, yeah, all right. I agree with something like that, and that would firmly cement it into 3rd. Like it would fairly comfortably be the 3rd highest grossing film of all time. Insane, dude. Absolute insane. So congratulations to Spider-Man yet again. I've been saying that a lot lately, for just dicking down the box office.
Yeah, they got dicked for sure.
There are a couple of movies that we didn't mention in the top 5. The first one that I'm going to talk about is Tony. Tony, if anyone's curious, was actually 7th in the box office numbers in what is technically its 3rd week of release, but the first week where it's wide.
Yeah, they had limited releases for a while.
Yeah, for a couple of weeks. It only raked in $5 million domestically, but a movie like that, not that surprised. I mean, worldwide $7 million. What was its budget? Probably way less. I mean, so those are your box office numbers, August 21st through the 23rd. So let's not talk about any of the top 5. As much as Paw Patrol wants us to, we're going to talk about Tony.
Let's talk about number 7.
Let's talk about number 7. The obvious choice to talk about.
Lucky number 7.
Lucky number 7. So we're going to, by we, I mean me, as Jack and I are split this week, I'm going to give a spoiler-free review of the new Anthony Bourdain biopic, Tony. I give this movie a strong 8.7, 8.6 or 7, somewhere around there, whatever. Shucked oysters, shucked clams, out of 10.
Okay, sounds like an innuendo for something else, but sure.
Well, I don't know. You have to watch the movie to find that out.
Shuck some oysters over there, buddy.
That's whether or not people's oysters are being shucked. You have to subscribe to the Patreon for that. You have
to watch us shuck each other's oysters and clams.
Well, we're gonna shuck each other's oysters, shuck each other's clams. Yeah, I really enjoyed this movie. Tony, for anyone out there like it doesn't know, it's a biopic about the famous chef Anthony Bourdain. It highlights a specific snippet of time in his life. It focuses on the summer when he was 19 in Cape. He's up in Provincetown near Cape Cod up there. And he kind of stumbles into, as Letterboxd likes to describe it, this restaurant world, the world of working in a kitchen, and it kind of works as like this coming of age story, and I really enjoyed it. I mean, it's not a movie that is reinventing the wheel, so to speak, right? Like it's not, it doesn't really stand out. It's not like it's super special, you know what I mean? It's not like there's any one moment or set piece or performance or any one thing that makes me go like, oh, this movie stands heads and shoulders above the rest of the pack. But Tony, that's not to be taken necessarily in a negative way, because Tony is a really successful film. It is a really successful film, a really entertaining biopic. It is able, in my opinion, to capture more about its subject matter than other biopics are able to over full lives. Like in this one summer, I feel like we learn more about Bourdain than you would over the full course of a life that you see in some of these other biopics where you're like, it's just like a Wikipedia page. You know what I mean? They're just kind of like blurting every little thing with nothing to say about it. Because I really do think that a biopic isn't meant to be a documentary, right? Like it's a documentary is, the filmmaker is not really taking a perspective on it. It is a factual take on a course of events. To me, a biopic, it's not supposed to be a documentary. The filmmaker is telling a narrative story. They are reinterpreting it. They're readapting it. So while you should be truthful to the subject matter, it is okay to be going at the story with, in my opinion, with more of a take, of an opinion, behind the camera about the subject matter. And this film does. Matt Johnson, who notably directed the film that came out earlier this year, Nirvana, the band, the show, the movie, based on the web series. And he did Blackberry, which a few years ago, and ironically, the only film of his I had seen before is one that not as many people have seen, Operation Avalanche. So it's really interesting to see him kind of approach, this film, and really, like, through the simplicity of the story that's being told, kind of showcase Anthony Bourdain in a way that the film itself makes it known that he felt that way about himself at that time, which was he was an asshole. He was an asshole. The movie actually opens with a quote from Anthony Bourdain himself. He says, "I was, to be frank, a spoiled, miserable, narcissistic, self-destructive, and thoughtless young lout, and badly in need of a good ass kicking." And, I do think that this film, with Matt Johnson's approach to it, does kind of take this opinion on Bourdain as character, the way he treated those around him, the way he where he picked up on that, his intentions. Like, it's not painting any disillusioned portrait, in my opinion, just to do right by the subject matter at hand with Anthony Bourdain, but it's truthful and it has an opinion. So I really enjoyed it. You know what I mean? I really, really enjoyed this movie.
Yeah. So you're saying that this one summer of Anthony Bourdain's life, even as exaggerated as it might be in the movie or on whatever, is interesting enough to justify this movie, right? Like, it makes total sense why they made this movie over just this period of time.
I think so. Because I think the real question, especially with this, is because this is character focused, right?
Yeah.
We're looking at Anthony Bourdain. We're trying to see, like, it. You look at it as his origin, and you also look at it as this coming of age story. You know what I mean? Like another way to tell, like, a coming of age story through the lens of his life. And so you say, okay, well, in that case, you're telling a coming of age story. We don't need to see Anthony Bourdain when he was working, in Manhattan, as the head chef for many years, or, his time, in culinary school, things like that. Like, if you're telling a coming of age story, the point is to see, the progression of a character learning as they grow at impressionable ages, a youth story. So in that case, that's what you focus on. That's what they chose to focus on in this film. We see him in this one summer. He goes up there in the first place. He's chasing a girl, and Anthony
dog.
Bourdain. And look, man, she's played by Amelia Jones. I mean, Amelia Jones is
she's bad.
She's bad. She is gorgeous. All right, so I don't blame him. I don't blame Anthony Bourdain. Okay, I get it. I would probably chase Amelia Jones up to Provincetown too.
Yeah, but, I mean, also Cape Cod, man, it's pretty nice.
It's nice, for the summer. I mean, I'm hanging out there.
It's not the worst job in the world.
There are worse places to be. There are worse places to be.
Totally.
Yeah, man. So like the point is Anthony Bourdain didn't even want to be a chef. He was originally trying to be a writer, and he was failing at that. And the movie, that's where we start. You know what I mean? Like, he's failing to be a writer. He's trying to get this, this grant, and he doesn't get it, or this fellowship or whatever.
There's a reason he didn't write this movie.
Yeah, right. And he doesn't get it, and he lies to everyone about it, and then he goes to chase this girl, and he needs some place to stay, so he starts working in this kitchen. You know what I mean? And so, kind of the point I'm saying is, like, do we see any sort of change in his character, like setting him on his path for success in life? That is the point of a coming of age story. And we do. We see that story play out in Anthony Bourdain over the course of this summer. And that's why I think this movie works so well, because I've had like what some people could argue as conflicting complaints about different biopics in the past. Sometimes I don't think a movie gives enough information about its subject matter. Sometimes I think it's just too much and it's like a Wikipedia page. And look, I get how that looks, but really when you're trying to perfect the narrative retelling of someone's life, I feel like it's really a very narrow line to straddle.
It's delicate.
For sure. So I think sometimes it's all about like what parts of their life, what kind of story, first of all, what kind of story are we trying to tell? Like with Tony, again, coming of age, we don't need to just tell his whole life. We're telling a particular kind of story. It's what a biopic should be, in my opinion. We have a very particular kind of story to tell, and doing it as the story of this real person's life and using a specific time in their life is the way to tell that story, is the conductor to tell that story. We'll do that, and so that's the first thing, because sometimes with a biopic, they're just like, we want to just tell the story of their life. Like the Michael Jackson biopic, that one is just, well, we're going to tell the story of Michael Jackson.
Yeah, it's like, oh, this is what happened.
And that's why the complaint is, well, you're leaving things out, you're not being authentic. And I'm not saying that means every scene, you need every little thing that ever happened, but someone as big and enigmatic as Michael Jackson, as a figure that he is to, the world, even to this day, you need more than what I think that movie gave. Whereas here at Tony, it's about Anthony Bourdain, but it's more so he is like his life, and this moment in his life is to tell a different not just a story of him, but a different kind of story that people can relate to. And that's why I think this is such a successful film. I think it does I think it does Anthony Bourdain right by doing that. And it also gives us a really great movie. And Dominic Sessa, who I haven't even mentioned yet, is awesome in this lead role. I mean, truly, he is great. And I love Dominic Sessa. I love him in The Holdovers. And I mean, he's only has 5 credits to his name on Letterboxd. I've seen 3 of them. So, I'm a big fan of his. I'm very excited to see him leading more movies. He's great in this. And Antonio Banderas is like
Boots.
Puss in Boots is actually like the heart of this movie. He's like the head chef, and he like this movie really does tell a really interesting story as well about like mentorship, and like finding it in the right places, being under the right influences to be set on the right path in life. And so we see that relationship between, Dominic Sessa's Bourdain and Banderas's character, who's just called Chef in this movie. It really elevates, like, there's like an energy that I think Banderas brings, and it really elevates the movie too.
Be honest. How's my goat? How's Stavi?
Stavros. Dude, you know what's funny about Stavros in this movie? His name is literally just Stavros.
Really? Oh, well.
Like, he's just Stavros working at a seafood restaurant in a kitchen in Cape Cod in the 70s.
Love him, dude.
It's just Stavros. He's hilarious. I mean, he's not like a standout performance, but he delivers what you expect from Stavros in a movie, which is a funny, supporting comedic role.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
He's in Tires, dude, and season 3 just came out, and he's so fucking good in it. He's so funny.
Yeah, he was in Begonia.
Yeah, as the cop who like did some shady shit.
Yeah, and then it was funny because I was on Discord with the boys, and we were talking about this movie actually, and we were talking about Stavros, and I was like, what was Stavros's name in Begonia? And I was like, wait, did they just call him Stavros in that movie? And I had to go back and check, and they didn't. They didn't. I was like, okay. He has an actual like character name. His name is Casey. But I was like, once I saw his name was like Stavros in Tony, I was like sitting there in the theater, and the whole movie I'm thinking to myself, is his name just like Stavros, and he's an officer, and his name is just Stavros in Begonia?
Thinking about Begonia.
I was like, is that just a fucking thing with him? But it wasn't. Okay. But he is Stavros in this movie, which is funny. Man. Yeah, he's good. And you know who's actually like a sleeper performance in this movie? Leo Woodall.
I don't know who that is.
He's actually, did you start season 2 of White Lotus?
I watched half of the first episode.
Okay. Do you know Tanya's assistant?
No. Didn't get there yet.
Okay.
It's him?
No, she's like dating him, but I'm pretty sure they start talking in the first episode. That's why I was like,
okay. Well, I'm only like 20 minutes into the first episode.
He's in the season 2. You'll see him.
Okay.
You'll see him. When Tanya's assistant is like starting to talk to this guy, that's the same guy that I'm talking about.
And he's good in Tony?
It's his best performance I've seen him give so far. I've seen him in a few things. He is so good in that movie.
Nice.
It's kind of like a little transformational. Like he puts on a little weight. But he's really good. It's very chaotic. It's very much the showier performance. Like whereas Banderas, they're both the supporting, right? So where Banderas is like kind of like this quiet heart, really providing more of like a supporting, elevating energy, calming energy to this film, focused energy to this film. Leo Woodall is very chaotic. It's very showy. It's big. And so when he's on screen, you're noticing it, and it's really good. He's really good in this movie. So yeah, I'm a big fan of this movie. It's subtle, you know what I mean? Like it's overall, it's not a showy movie. It's not flashy. But I think that it executes the kind of story that it's trying to tell well. I think I learn a lot about Anthony Bourdain. It's very entertaining. Like, I was never bored from start to finish. The set production, everything from a production standpoint is really on par. It transports to the 1970s. It transports you to Provincetown very well at that time. The score is really nice. It's very sweet. Really sets the tone. So yeah, I mean, everything all in all, like this movie really like, I wasn't blown away, but there wasn't really anything where I was like, that's a problem. Like, I'm like, this is a really good movie. Like I walked out of the theater feeling really satisfied. So,
good, man.
There's not, you can't really ask for much more,
No, that's pretty good. That's a pretty successful day at the movies, if I say so myself.
Yeah, for sure.
That sounds good. I'm gonna watch it eventually, and I'm glad you enjoyed it.
Yeah, I highly recommend it to you. I highly recommend it to everyone who's listening. Go support it. You know, this is not the kind of movie. Clearly, we were talking about the box office numbers earlier. It's not the kind of movie that's gonna do a lot, gross a lot of money. Go support it while it's in theaters, man. Go, guys! You guys should go see this movie. I implore all of you. It's good. It's not a long movie. It's an hour and 46 minutes. It is not a long movie. It is a good time. It is. Dominic Sess is great. The whole cast is great. Matt Johnson does a great job. It's a good movie, really good biopic, and it's, for a change, not a musical biopic. That's like the last thing I want to say. A different kind of biopic. Chef.
It's funny because my friend was just telling me, I have no idea who Anthony Bourdain is. So my friend is telling me, oh yeah, I saw the Tony movie, and I was like, I don't really like the music biopics. Like I was like, I don't really love it, and she's like, it's not about music. I was like, oh shit, no. I forgot they could make those about other people.
Yes, they can.
And I was like, oh, is he a chef? Because I know he likes chefs. I really thought the movie was about a musician who's stuck in a restaurant and then he like breaks out of the restaurant. But he's a chef who's in the restaurant.
No, he's a chef.
Yeah,
Anthony Bourdain was a very famous chef for a long time. You know, around different parts of the world, France.
Oh, is
London.
He dead?
Yeah, he died.
Oh, he's
almost
dead?
10 years ago.
Oh, so no wonder he didn't write this movie joke. Didn't really work, huh?
No.
He can't write it because he's dead.
Well, he could have written like an autobiography before he died. And then
he killed himself.
He killed himself, and apparently it was like a spontaneous thing too. Like that's what, or at least that's what they ended up saying. They were like, oh, like it appeared to be spontaneous. Wow. Yeah, he hanged himself.
What a way to go. That's crazy. Yeah. That's medieval shit.
That's the classics right there.
Yeah, that is I mean, that is the, if you're going to kill, like,
the classics.
Not saying nobody do that, of course, but like, that is the classic.
No. Actually, seriously, don't do that.
Yeah,
seriously,
that's
like
up.
call the hotline. There's, but
that is like the classic way.
That has. Anyway, yeah, that was like almost 10 years ago though. That was like 2018. So, but it was a good movie. It was a good movie, and I think it portrayed Anthony Bourdain at this point in his life well. So, from his own words, even.
Cool, man. Okay. Now it's my turn to talk for a little bit.
Yeah, so there's a new TV show that just finished, and I believe you want to talk about it.
Yeah, I'll be brief because thinking of what to say. It's not much to say. I don't think
I gave you a lot of time to say. Come on, man. I just spent all this time. I just was like, giving you all these thoughts on Tony and this and that.
I got it.
And the first thing you go is, I don't really know what to say about House of the Dragon.
I got it. I got the gist. I can do it. So here is my mild spoiler review of House of the Dragon. I'm not going to give names. I'm not going to give super details, but I'll tell the basics of what happens this season, maybe. I give House of the Dragon season 3 7.5 out of 10. It's not that good. It's fine. It's good. I don't think Ed is going to be happy about my review. House of the Dragon season 1 is absolutely beautiful. It's amazing. It's a 9 out of 10. Season 2 was a huge disappointment. 5.5 to 6 out of 10. Season 3, 7 to 7.5 out of 10. It starts off really strong. The first 2 episodes are some of the best episodes of the season. The Battle of the Gullet is awesome. It's incredible. There's a crazy death right at the beginning of the season that you do not expect. It's major. It's awesome. The way it happens is really cool. Episode 2 is dealing with it. All the characters just grieving and freaking out and doing crazy things. It's awesome. It's really cool. There's a lot of action. There's a lot of tense scenes. The writing, the acting is incredible of people losing their friend, their brother, their son. Like, just it's great acting. And then episodes 3 through like 7 are just really bland. And it's really unfortunate because I know what they're doing. They're building to something, but it feels like it doesn't work. And they're bland and they're setting things up, and they set up a good finale. The finale was really good. The last 2 episodes of the season, very strong. Great beginning, great ending. The middle just did not hook me. It didn't seem like it hooked a lot of people. It kind of just left us hanging because
how many total episodes? Yeah, wait a minute. Whoa.
Not after Anthony Bourdain.
Whoa. Come on. I
Oh no.
I think it really.
It left us out to dry, is what I meant to say.
Thank God that Anthony Bourdain didn't drown himself. Let's just say that.
Yeah. The middle episodes are just really bland, and it's unfortunate because there's great character development. And Emma Darcy, they play Rhaenyra. The acting from them is incredible. It's some of the best acting in all of Game of Thrones, and it really, it's just so believable, like genuinely amazing. And that's in the first 2 episodes. Then Rhaenyra gets, I don't want to spoil it because it's big. Then the Civil War kind of comes to a halt. Because the whole show's about Civil War. Civil War kind of comes to a halt very abruptly. Felt kind of like it didn't make sense that it was like, oh, that's how it ends right there in the first 2 episodes of season 3. And then it's kind of dealing with the aftermath of that. And the aftermath works for certain characters. It works for Rhaenyra. It's great for Rhaenyra. Her grief, her struggles as she's taking on a new role in the show makes perfect sense. Daemon, who has always been the same guy throughout the entire show, just this aggressive, conniving, but also somehow loyal character to Rhaenyra specifically. He is always himself, and it works so well in the show. And then you get them focusing on a new villain, and they do a lot of stuff with Aegon where it doesn't really make sense. I mean, it makes sense, but it's boring. It's so boring. All he does is walk around in the woods for like 6 episodes, and then at the end, he finally gets some cool shit happening to him, and it's worth it. It is worth it for Aegon, but for everyone else, it's not. It's boring. And there's a lot of skippable scenes and a lot of skippable episodes. It just was a disappointment. Season 1 was so good, and season 2 was bad. And season 2 was bad because it was a setup season for season 3. And I really thought when season 3 started and it was absolutely peak at the first 2 episodes that, damn, season 2 sucking was worth it because season 3 is amazing. And now season 3 is just build up to season 4, which is going to be the last season. So I kind of get it. But don't you just hate when it's like they're adding things? Like, it didn't feel like the end of a season. It didn't feel like its own season. It feels like they could have just made the season longer. It just, you know what I mean? Does that make sense?
It was kind of like what The Boys season 4 was.
Yes, it's a full season, sure, and there is a clear beginning and end, but it's all just made to give you something else. It's kind of like Avengers Age of Ultron. It's a good movie on its own. It's fine, but it's really setting up Infinity War and Civil War and all these other movies that are coming in the future. Thor Ragnarok, Thor goes off-world, Hulk is off-world, and that, like, all this stuff happens because of Age of Ultron, and that's kind of the whole purpose of the movie. The whole purpose of season 3 ends up being leading to season 4. But all of season 2 was ending up leading to season 3. Season 1 was perfect. It leads to season 2, but also makes its own stance, and it's its own thing, and it makes perfect sense, and it's good, and everyone loved it. And then season 2 sucks. Season 3 is fine. That's House of the Dragon. Season 3, great beginning, great ending, but the middle is just, it's just there. And I think they really got lazy with it. They set up this new villain, and the whole thing is building up to that fight, and they fight at the end of season 3, but it's also...
How many total episodes again? 8?
This one is 9. I think every season's 10, and this one's 9, so maybe that's why it feels like they kind of rushed the Civil War aspect of it, and they don't develop characters the way they should and give them enough time. They focus on this guy, whatever the fuck his name is. He's a Hightower. I don't even remember. His last name's Hightower, and they focus on him and Gwaine and whatever and Allison. And I will say, I know they follow books. The worst part of season 2 was that they take the best character, Daemon, and they stick him in Harrenhal, this haunted castle. And his whole goal is get Harrenhal on our side. And in season 2, since it's haunted, Daemon's entire arc for 10 seasons, the coolest character who goes on massacres and battles and everything like that in season 1. In season 2, they take him, they stick him in Harrenhal, and the whole season is him hallucinating and seeing visions and freaking out. That's literally him for about 8 out of the 10 episodes. That was the worst part of season 2. Season 3 takes another awesome character, Aemond, the guy who rides the biggest dragon, the strongest dragon, the dragon that kills every other dragon. They get rid of the dragon for the whole season and stick Aemond in Harrenhal, where he's hallucinating the whole time, and he's seeing ghosts, and he's seeing spirits, and he's envisioning things. Sure, if that happens in the books, I get it, but it sucks. It is so boring as a viewer to have a character whose whole thing is that he rides the strongest, biggest dragon, and he's the strongest, biggest guy because he thinks he is because he's on the dragon, and just have him bitch out the entire time seeing ghosts. And I'm sure it's going to lead to his development, right? Because he realizes he's nothing without his dragon at the end of the season, which we all knew that. But still, it's boring as fuck to watch. Where's the dragon? This season had like 2 episodes with some dragon action, and the rest of it is just them flying around every now and then. There's no dragon action. They get rid of the biggest players of the dragon. Of the 10 dragons in the show, they get rid of like the most important ones. It's a whole thing. It's a whole thing.
That's disappointing, and that's disappointing because it's literally called House of the Dragon.
Yeah, that's kind of their whole thing.
It should kind of be like their whole thing should be that there are dragons. You know,
I don't think we've seen some of the dragons since season 2. I think some of the dragons were not even in this season. And then the dragons that we met in season 2, I was like, oh shit, they're going to be a big deal. And then in season 3, they have like 2 minutes of screen time. Vermithor, who is the second biggest dragon. Vhagar's the biggest. She's out of the season. She's just gone. She's like, oh, Vhagar disappeared. Vermithor is the second biggest dragon of the whole show. He gets 2 seconds of screen time. We focus on his rider a lot, but his rider's just like off doing his own shit. Like, bring the dragon. It's just very disappointing. It's still enjoyable as a show. Listen, 4 episodes are peak. So as much as I'm shitting on it, I still think it's a great show. 4 of the episodes are absolutely insanely good. The acting is incredible. Where they take certain characters like Rhaenyra, like Aegon, Daemon, I absolutely love it. But since the show has been so good consistently through season 1 and I guess a little bit of season 2, it's just a disappointment for this season to go the way it went.
You know, I'm surprised. I don't know, you know, I'm obviously not like super tuned into the Game of Thrones community and the fandom, you know, with that and House of the Dragon and Night of the Seven Kingdoms and all that. But like I thought, and obviously like you and Ed are like my biggest kind of liaisons into that, but I thought that the consensus on the season 3 was that it was a pretty solid improvement upon season 2.
Well, it definitely
and so the vibe that I get from you though, that it wasn't really that much.
I mean, I give it's a 5 to a 7.5. That's a huge improvement, but
yeah,
it's just that the 2 first episodes and especially the first 2 episodes, they carry the season so hard because they are 2 of the best episodes of like all of Game of Thrones. They're really, really incredible episodes, and the last 2 are also really, really good. But the rest was just disappointing. So my 7.5 really stems from 4 out of the 9 episodes being incredible, and then the rest being mid.
Yeah, well, you know, it is that balance of like some of us when you have a season like that, when you're like, oh, some of these episodes are so good, you know,
and some drag.
And so it's like, you know, I would rate this a 10 out of 10 this episode, but this episode's like a 4 out of 10. You know what I mean?
It's tough. So, I mean, I know Ed's listening to this. If you disagree, like definitely, dude, I want to hear Ed's opinion. So Ed, shoot me a text, bro. Like, let me know, dude. Cause I feel like maybe I am crazy because I'm shitting on it so much, but I wanted more. So I
commented on our socials to boost our activity.
True.
At Box Office Dynasty on our TikTok and on our Instagram.
There will be a clip of it, so let us know.
But yeah, no, I do find that curious as someone who's on the outside of that fandom. Like I do find it interesting. There's only been 1 season so far of Knights of the Seven Kingdom, right?
Yes, and that is such an amazing show. Like that 1 season is peak. I absolutely love it.
It's an Emmy-nominated season of television at that. I don't know if House of the Dragon was ever nominated. I think it might have been in its first season.
I think in the first season it was.
Is Knights of the Seven Kingdom coming back for another season?
It is. And I'm very excited.
There you go. All right. Well, I mean, you know, that's House of the Dragon. At least it's got 1 more season. You know, hopefully they stick the landing. We know that that's been a very contentious topic lately for these shows with final seasons.
Yeah.
And especially in the Game of Thrones universe, that is definitely, I'm sure there's got to be some nerves in the writer's room and on set. Like, we got to get this right. We have got to get this right.
This is their second attempt.
All right. Well, I want to ask you then. I mean, we aren't going to have a very long episode today, so I have time to ask you this. If House of the Dragon's final season can't stick the landing, the same way Game of Thrones final season couldn't. And if, let's say it's like similarly bad, like character assassination, shit like that again, do you think you would completely lose like faith and or interest in that universe?
Oh, that is such a good question. I think there's another show that's coming out at some point. Um, I don't know if it's Aegon's Conquest or Robert's Rebellion or something. It's a show with big stakes. I know. I think I would lose interest in that, and I think I would lose faith in that to be successful at the end. I wouldn't lose interest in like the way Night of the Seven Kingdoms can end because I think for some reason Game of Thrones is a big, big show with a lot of moving pieces, and the ending had a lot to do and a lot of doors to close and new doors to open and just so much going on. House of the Dragon is very similar. Even though it's a smaller story, it is still massive in its own way. I mean, there's fucking 20 dragons in the show. There's a million different characters. They're all fighting for the throne. It's just a smaller scale version of Game of Thrones. But Night of the Seven Kingdoms is just two characters. It's Duncan and it's Aegon, and that is it. It's two characters just trying to live their lives as knights and a knight and a squire. They do tournaments. They go help people in need. They do regular daily stuff, and they sleep under a tree. They go camping. It is such small scale, like street level Game of Thrones that I don't think they could butcher it the way they can butcher something as big as House of the Dragon or Game of Thrones. So I wouldn't lose faith in the universe. I would lose faith in their ability to end a big story like that.
Fair enough. No, fair enough. I mean, that's a good point. As long as it's like a different kind of show, I guess you can, and obviously they're different show runners.
Yeah.
You can hope that it will have a different outcome.
Yes,
but I know I would feel a little wary of it after that, or at least it would leave like a bad taste in my mouth. I'd be like, Game of Thrones is. I would feel as if I were like a fan, or if it just happened to something that I was a fan of, I would feel very obviously frustrated. I would feel torn. You know what I mean? About the franchise. I would say, look, I love it. I love the set, the place, and the characters, and so much of the story. There's so much good here, but you guys can never stick the landing. And something that I learned in film school, and it was to a more literal extent. So, and I will back it after that, or generalize it. But one of the lessons I learned when it came to analyzing film specifically was that the two most important shots of your movie are the first shot and the last shot. And, essentially what my professor was trying to say is, our first impressions and our last impressions are what is most important and that can probably be true with other things besides, movies and shows. And I don't think it's necessarily like the very first shot and the very last shot. Like I wouldn't be that exact, but I do think that there is some truth to that. It's kind of like, the whole psychological thing when it comes to reading words, where you can misspell enough of the word as long as the beginning of the word and the end of the word is still the same. As you read it, you'll still understand it.
Mm-hmm.
That whole thing. It's kind of like that. You can do a lot of good stuff. You could do whatever in the middle of your movie or your show. And I'm not saying that it won't stick with you, but if you fuck up the beginning and you fuck up the ending, or one or the other, whatever, I do think that is worse than fucking up the middle.
Yeah, I mean, Game of Thrones is the perfect example of that, especially based on what people remember and what they take away. I mean, do you ever talk about hear anyone talk about Game of Thrones and not mention how shitty the ending was? It had
not really
6 incredible seasons. Season 7 was fine, and season 8 sucked, and all anyone talks about is season 8. Like, the first 6 seasons are genuinely some of the greatest television I've ever seen, and a lot of people have ever seen, and all people talk about is how bad season 8 was. And I think Game of Thrones and House of the Dragon are too similar in story, where if they fuck it up, I'm going to blame it hopefully on the story and not like the universe, because I don't think they would fuck up Night of the Seven Kingdoms the same way, because it is so different.
That's fair. No, that's fair. I was just curious.
Yeah, it was a good question.
I
hadn't thought about that. Yeah. Because I also do think it's possible they fuck it up. It's not out of the realm of possibility.
Well, it just makes me think about it because I was surprised how critical you were of the season.
Yeah, I think that they could make the same mistakes next season.
And with that being the last season, I'm not saying it'll be as catastrophic as Stranger Things or as Game of Thrones or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't know. I mean, if they fuck it up, yeah, I think it would go from Game of Thrones. In my opinion, Game of Thrones would go from being a surefire top IP for Warner Brothers to, okay, it's still a very valuable IP, but maybe it's not the one we completely focus on. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. So that if they, and that's not to say they won't see out Night of the Seven Kingdoms. It might be something like Marvel, where what they might say, okay, we're going to continue the Disney Plus Marvel shows that are really successful. Daredevil, Born Again, Loki, things like that. But we are going to completely scale back the quantity of the shows. So it reminds me of that, where if House of the Dragon stumbles and falls in its final season like Game of Thrones, where they might say, okay, we're still going to see Night of the Seven Kingdoms. It's very successful, all that, but we're not going to just keep doing a whole bunch of new stuff in the Game of Thrones universe moving forward. We'll just be very selective about it. So that is like how I think that would play out if they do stumble and fall.
I'm sure you're right. And they canceled the Jon Snow series after the shitty Game of Thrones ending. So, it's very possible.
Yeah, it is very possible, especially because Game of Thrones, it's not irrelevant by any stretch of the means. Of course not. But its peak in terms of cultural dominance was the 2010s.
Yeah. It was, so, yeah, season 4 through 6 was like peak Game of Thrones.
Yeah, so, I mean, not saying that it's, again, of course it's still very relevant, but its dominance, culturally speaking, has passed. Mm-hmm. And I think that if they fumble the ending of House of the Dragon, that'll just further escalate that, in my opinion. I mean, if they get it really great, I can obviously swing in the other direction too.
Yeah, for sure.
It's a pendulum.
Yeah.
It's a pendulum.
We don't know how it's going to end up, what side of the coin it's going to be on.
I mean, you look at Marvel, that pendulum swings back and forth every 2 seconds, every 2 months, in my opinion. Quantumania comes out, is dead. And then No Way Home comes out, it's great, and dead and back. Brand New Home comes out, and it's MCU's back. Brand New Day. There's too much fucking Brand New Home, Day, Home, whatever.
You get Thor, Love and Thunder and Guardians 3 like back to back, and it's like,
right. We're back. We're so back. It's so over. You know what I mean? Like,
exactly.
So it's a pendulum, but I do think that if House of the Dragon stumbles, it'll further go in that direction.
You're very right.
All right. I guess that's all.
That's all I got.
I got one more movie. I got one more movie. Yeah. This one, I'm actually going to backtrack. If Tony finished 7th on the box office numbers, where do you think Teenage Sex and Death at Camp Miasma finished on the box office numbers this week?
21st.
No, all right, God, not 21st. Jesus
14th.
Christ. 14th. No, but that is closer.
13th?
No. It was no.
10th.
No. Yeah, there you go. 10th.
I can tell by it was
you're reading. I was about to go. It finished 10th. It made just under $2 million. I mean, look, it's a very small movie film from still a relatively unknown filmmaker. But I saw it. It went wide, and I'm going to give my ratings and reviews. I don't know how many spoilers. I will say I'll give a spoiler warning. Just so I can talk freely.
Before you do that, let me be unprofessional for a second. Give me 2 seconds.
Where the fuck is this guy going? He's just walking out on the BOD right away. Right away. He's walking out on the BOD in the middle of a review. Look at that. Oh, my God.
I'm so thirsty, and I forgot my water on my desk.
You sound like the scene from One Night Only from the trailer at the beginning when she's knocking on the door at the pizza place, and I'm so hungry.
That was me, dude. I'm fucking thirsty as hell.
Gee, why didn't you have your water ready?
I usually do, and then like halfway through the episode, I looked over and I was like, "Fuck
me,
it's over there."
As you can see, I've had my water this whole time.
I know, and it didn't help seeing you drink it and fucking tempt me.
Yeah,
dude.
I'm gonna make you jealous right now. Watch.
That's so good. Hey, everyone, remember to drink your water and stay hydrated. That shit's good for you.
Stay hydrated. Clearly, Jack prioritizing it. You know,
you got to.
Waits until I'm about it. You could have done it in the clean middle there where I was like, that's it? House of Dragon. All right, real quick. You waited till I started to introduce the movie, too. I was like, all right, let me talk about teenage sex and Death of Camp Miasma. And you're like, peace.
Yeah,
I'm
fuck your movie review. I'm thirsty.
Dude. Okay. Where was I before I was rudely interrupted by Jack's thirst?
You're about to rate this movie.
Thirst. I was saying spoilers. I guess the spoiler review, just so I could talk freely. You know, I don't know how many spoilers I'll give, but you don't care, right?
No.
All right. So here's my spoiler review. Spoilers ahead for Teenage Sex and Death at Camp Miasma. Ratings and review. I give this movie 8 little deaths out of 10. Like right on the dot. 8 little deaths out of 10. So, geez. Okay. I have to use a lot of brain power to talk about this movie. Whereas Tony was very simple, straightforward, easy to talk about. Teenage Sex and Death at Camp Miasma. I enjoyed it, as you can tell from my rating. It is a good movie, but it is a very difficult one to talk about. So basically, I don't know if you even know what it's about.
I'm assuming people fuck and they die at a camp.
It's an amicable guess for sure. It really is.
Educated.
Yeah, for sure. Basically, Camp Miasma is supposed to be like this horror franchise, like Scream. You know what I mean? Or
is
Nightmare
it like,
on Elm Street.
What's the Jason movies? What the fuck those are called?
Yeah,
Friday the 13th.
Friday the 13th. Yeah,
the camp.
It's basically like Friday the 13th. And the franchise, it's super successful. The beginning of this movie is great. Actually, the whole first 2 acts, 3-act structure, yada, yada, yada. The first 2 acts are great.
Okay, film school.
I gotta flex a little bit of it today, you know what I mean? I know nobody's ever heard of the 3-act structure before. I'm just letting the people, I'm informing the people.
Yeah, learn that in your classes.
To be knowledgeable. Yeah, I learned that one. I paid the big bucks to learn about the 3-act structure,
expensive structure.
They don't just teach that to anybody, okay? That's what makes us the pros.
That's right.
So basically, I'll get to that though. The beginning, they kind of show through like a montage in the opening credits. I thought it was really cool. Like the beginning of the franchise through its rise over the years, yada, yada. And it's kind of gone downhill, which we've talked about for real life franchises that's happened. We've talked about on this podcast. It's gone downhill. They kind of are very gimmicky now, the 3D, straight to DVD release, blah, 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 all that stuff. And so where we pick up in this film is like there's a young up-and-coming filmmaker. That's the name Chris, played by Hannah Einbinder, who people know from Hacks, of course. And she is taking over as like in charge of this franchise. Like she has to make the next, and she like Camp Miasma movie. Kind of like a reboot of it, but with a new spin. And she goes to visit the original actress of the original movie, whose name is Billy Priestley, played by Gillian Anderson, who's phenomenal in this movie. I mean, career kind of performance. And she's been around a long time. She did The X-Files. She was in that show on Netflix, Sex Education. She's been in some movies. But this, to me, is the best performance I've seen her give, I would say, in her career. She's very, very good in this movie. And she's like a recluse now. She kind of lives hiding away, like really buried away in the woods. Actually on the set of the old camp from the first movie. Oh. And so basically this young filmmaker goes to that world, and goes to that location, and they kind of like fall into a trance with one another. And there's, lust, and, there's fear, and it's very surreal. And for a while, I was really digging it, right? Like, I'm like, okay, this is really trippy. Again, I've never seen I Saw the TV Glow. I've never seen anything from Jane Schoenbrunn before. Scone? Is it Scone? Or I don't know if the
I have
CH
no idea
is
who you're
like
talking about, so.
Jane Schoenbrunn?
Never heard of her in my life.
Well, they use they, them pronouns, actually.
Never heard of them in my life.
Yeah. They're the director from I Saw the TV Glow. Anyway, I'm not sure if it's Schoenbrunn or Schoenbrunn, but I'm going to say Schoen because it's CH, so I assume. Anyway, but I do have respect for them for how bold they are. Like, they are very bold with their filmmaking. This film feels very personal to their experience. Especially when you consider that this movie is so entrenched in, the perspectives of identity and sexual orientation, and kind of how our upbringing and our interaction with media, in particular violent media, kind of molds our identities, can have impacts on our sexualities, not necessarily the orientation, but, our desires, the people that we become. So, I was like really digging this for a while, and Little Death, I found that really interesting too. I had to look up what that was, admittedly, I have not heard of everything, but basically Little Death is, what is it? French? It's a French term. It's an expression that refers to a brief loss or weakening of consciousness, in a post-orgasm sensation that has been likened to death. So, Little Death is in the movie is the big villain. It's the Jason of the Camp Miasma franchise.
It's when you orgasm and die?
Well, no. Little Death is an actual is the slasher character.
Oh.
I'm getting to the analogy that there. Okay. Little Death he like comes out from a lake, and he comes and he like Jason. Stabs people. Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's literally Jason.
Is he wearing a mask?
Well, his head is like his whole head is like it's kind of like a pyramid head almost.
I feel like his head would just be a fucking nutsack.
It almost kind of is.
Really?
Like, not really. It's not really, but I don't know.
Just based on what this movie seems like it's about.
I just wanted to say that. It's not really. It's kind of like pyramid head.
Okay.
So, I'm like digging it. You know what I mean? You would not have been digging it, but I was. Like, I was very much, I could tell it's a film that would probably be divisive, but a lot of people seem to like it. You know what I mean? More,
but we would have been divided.
More. We would have been divided on it, probably.
It's funny? My friend saw it and immediately texted me and said, you would fucking hate this movie.
No, you would not like this movie either. You should not go watch this movie. You should go watch Tony. You would like Tony.
I think I would
like this
Tony.
movie. You would not like this movie. But I do think it is a fascinating, like, take on this intersection between sex and violence, which is something that a lot of films and television shows have, kind of explored in the past. It's not anything new, but just seeing it from like a young perspective, seeing it from a transgender perspective, because of the importance of identity, the molding of identity in this film,
That's not why I wouldn't like it, by the way, to people listening, that this transgender identity.
Hey, Jack was just making hanging jokes about Anthony Bourdain like 15 minutes ago.
I accidentally made a joke. Well, I actually said something. I wouldn't like it for other reasons, I'm assuming.
Remember She-Man?
Yeah, that
one was pretty bad. That one was pretty fucking bad.
Somebody needs to make a compilation of
you have the worst ones.
You literally said age is just a number at one point.
That was taking out of context is what that was. That wasn't me completely fucking up. That was just something taken out of context. Okay. All right. Okay. All right. I'm going to get back to the movie review now, okay?
I just want people to think I don't like the movie because there's transgender stuff going on.
Hey, if you have to explain the joke. So...
Fuck you, dude.
All right. No, I really liked it. And beyond what it was all about with identity and sexuality, it was also really interestingly, obviously, about the current state of legacy IP in Hollywood. It was very blunt. It was very candid about that, you know, that it's in a bad place, that it gets abused, that studios don't really value the correct factors from these legacy IP. You know, they don't value what we should be cherishing from these legacy IPs that we've been gifted from the past, while leaving some of the more problematic elements of them behind, because a lot of them, especially in horror, have a lot of problematic elements, but that doesn't mean we don't still, you know, like the IP or they can't still be valuable. So this film had a lot to say about all of that. I thought the allegory was brilliant. So I am, as a whole, a big fan of this movie. Like I said, Gillian Anderson is great. I think Hannah Einbender is really great in this movie too. She's very vulnerable. You know, I think she's, you know, I think some people would want to liken it to her as Ava Daniels in Hacks, but I actually would argue that she is taking quite a different approach at what might be a bit of a similar role, like a, you know, sort of coming of age, like figuring yourself out, you know what I mean? Identity, that, you know, but, and finding your identity through a creative outlet. But I would argue there is a much different approach that is being taken with Chris compared to that. So I think she's really good in this movie. I just thought that the third act kind of started to lose me. Like, that is really the problem here. That's why, like, it's an 8 because of how much I was really enjoying the first 2 acts. And then it's, you know, not a 9 or a 10 because of, I really was starting to get lost in that third act. Because at that point, you know, the movie really starts to show what it's about, how, these two characters because like she originally goes there because she's trying to reboot the franchise. She wants to make it a fresh spin, a more feminist approach to what was a misogynistic, you know, franchise, 70s horror, all that. And so, you know, that's why she originally goes to see her. And then, you know, I get that, like, it's like she gets lost in this kind of like world. Like, I'm not saying she has to be completely like, you know, hyper fixated on like what brought her there in the first place. It makes sense. She's there. That's what gets her there. That doesn't have to be the whole thing. I get that. But, you know, then it eventually becomes like the two of them have this like kink where they envision themselves as victims in a horror movie during sex.
Oh.
And that's the only way they can get off. And so, like, they practice it in real life because Little Death actually comes up from under the lake and comes and starts killing people in the third act. And the part that really lost me was she's like running through the woods. She's supposed to be the final girl. Like, it's supposed to be like her in the movie, right?
Yeah.
And all that was cool. Like, I was like, okay,
it's meta. It's very meta.
It's meta. It's surreal. I'm with it. You know what I mean? And like, she runs into her, like her friends, and Little Death kills him, and not her. And she's like, what the fuck? She keeps going, and then she runs into her agent, who's just like there, because she's like on the opposite side of the country from these people. You know, she like flew there, so she's like there in the middle of the night in the woods, and then she gets killed, keeps running, and then it's like the studio executives who she had like this pitch meeting with, didn't go well. They like, no, it's like they're there in the middle of the night.
It sounds like
they
scary
get killed.
movie.
It felt like it, but again, I'm thinking, okay, it's very meta. She's like envisioning herself in this. It's like supposed to be like a sexual awakening moment. Like, I was with it. It's an allegory. You know what I mean? It's all it's being visualized. Okay. And the people in the movie dying before are people in her life. So we have seen them in the movie before. It makes sense, right? And then she's in bed with Billy, and Billy is, you know, fingering her, and she's like envisioning. It's like she's having like an out of body thing where she can like see her on the bed. She like sees through Little Death.
Okay.
And she's like can see it, and like that is like how she has the orgasm. And the reason that this is all happening is because in the movie there's like a scene where Billy, who's the original girl through all this, she like has this look in her eye, like she's having sex, she's losing her virginity, and they're at a party in that movie, you know, movie within the movie. She's like at a party, and then Little Death like comes up behind, and she has this look, and they're trying to capture that moment. Like that's the whole thing that built up to this. So she's like envisioning her from out of the body, and Billy's like, "This is how you have it, like you see yourself." Blah blah blah. And I was like, okay, we get to this moment. They're like, and it always cut at that moment when we're like seeing the clip in the movies. So we get to that moment now with Billy, with Chris. I'm like, okay, what's going to happen? And Little Death kills them, stabs through both of them, and like, because they're on top of each other, and kills them. And they die, and they're like a pool of blood on the bed, and he goes back into the lake. And I was like, very interesting. You know, is this where we're going to leave off? And then it shows the next morning, and it shows everyone in the woods from that sequence still in the woods, dead, which means it really happened within the world.
Yeah, that's stupid.
And then Billy and Chris get up and are completely unharmed. Like they're dead. We see them dead, and then the next morning they wake up in the pool of blood, just perfectly okay. And I was like, I was just like, I was just confused what was like real in this world and what wasn't.
So
like,
all those people were dead, but these guys just got up?
Like why not them? Like there was too much. All right, this is a great way of putting it that I think you'll really understand. You know how when we were reviewing The End of Oak Street last week,
yeah,
one of the things that we appreciated was that they didn't feel the need to over-explain the cosmic events that transported them back in time, right? It was just like, you know, they gave us just enough.
Yeah.
It was like the opposite. It was like, we have something. Stuff. Yeah, I was like, what is real to this world and what isn't? And I'm all for, like, look, again, this was a very metatextual analysis on, you know, kind of 80s slashers, you know, and the impact, like I said, that it had on sex, on sexuality, on identity, for a whole generation of people. I completely get all that. I think it really succeeds in that. It's just because it's a metatextual analysis. Now you have real world implications that I no longer understand by the end of the movie. That is my biggest problem with the third act.
That also, for me, would make me question the entire first two acts. Like, what is happening? Like, that would make me question the movie in its entirety of, like, what is really going on, you know? And not just the third act.
I don't think you would need to. Like, I think you would still be pretty clear when, like, I think the movie very obviously kicks it into another gear in that third act.
Okay.
To the point where I don't think you really have to question in the first two acts. Like, I get what you're saying.
So the third act doesn't affect your opinion on the first two acts?
Well, no, that's why. I mean, it affects my overall opinion on the movie, but if it affected my opinion on the first two acts, I don't think I would still rate this as high as I have it.
Okay.
Like, I do think that the movie is successful in a lot of ways. I do think the performances are great. I do love the originality of it. It is very original. I do love, like I said, that metatextual analysis. I do think it makes a lot of good points, and it's not just that the theme is at play, but I think it is actually making the point well and uniquely. It's just a story element that I'm not with, and that is a big problem for me, but it's not big enough to tank the whole film.
Okay. Yeah,
like,
that's
there's
tough.
Still a lot to like. Like, a lot of people love this movie. On Letterboxd, of the people that I follow that have rated this movie, the lowest is the same rating as me, 4 stars.
Isn't this interesting that we're talking a lot about, like, bad endings today? Like, we're talking about the value of a good beginning and a good ending, and House of the Dragon. I'm like, that ending might suck.
That's a good point. It is a good point. It is a bit of a theme today for sure. But you know what? Fine. Let that be a theme of today's episode is the value of the end of a beginning and an ending.
That means we have to have a good ending to this podcast, by the way.
Fuck. We're really setting ourselves up for failure.
You better have
now.
a good seesaw later.
Jeez, dude. I mean, I guess. I mean, shit. All right. Now I don't want the pressure of being the one to like lead out with the thank yous at the end of the episode. Now I feel like you might need to take over because you got to find a way to make it interesting, buddy. And it's got to be good. It's got to be good.
We'll see.
Yeah. So I mean, look, that's pretty much it. There's a lot that I really do appreciate about this movie, about the surrealism of it, about like all the different analysis and the original approach. And just to express again, it is bold. And I respect when a filmmaker isn't just trying to play things safe and do something different and do something we haven't seen. And it doesn't always work. You know what I mean? But I respect when they make the attempt instead of just playing it safe every single time. Safe is boring. How we get new classics is by being inventive. So I respect Jane Schoenbrunn and what they did with this movie. And I am definitely intrigued to see I Saw the TV Glow. I have always been since it came out. It's on my watch list. I'll watch it eventually. But Teenage Sex and Death at Camp Miasma is a really solid movie. I really enjoyed it. I definitely recommend going and supporting it. At the very least, you may not like it. You may love it. You may not like it. I think that this movie can be very divisive, but I'll leave you with this. There is no doubt about the fact that this is a piece of cinema that is sure to create plenty discussion. Like, without a doubt, a lot of discussion can be had about this movie. And for that reason alone, it is worth seeing.
Sure. I do just want to point out to you and the listeners, a little bit through your review, I was getting some static from your mic. I don't know if it's my headphones or your microphone, or if it's something we could fix in post after. So it's not the worst thing in the world. It's just a little bit. So if you notice something while listening, it's just a little bit. Don't worry about it. I'm just letting listeners know, like, it might be fucked up on our end. Or it might just be my headphones suck ass. I don't know, but I'm just letting you know, just in case.
You always, I feel like you're always like saying like you look like shit, you sound like shit.
It's literally gone.
I'm always having these I know. I'm just technical. I get it.
It's gone. It was happening.
Was it the
for
whole
half the
review? Well, you should interrupt.
Like not even half. Like the last 5 minutes.
Oh well.
But now it's gone. It literally was happening for the last 5 minutes, and once I mention it, it disappears. So. Don't worry about it. I don't know if you touched something or...
I haven't done anything.
I don't know what the fuck just happened.
I haven't done anything.
I didn't touch it. All right, fine. All right.
Hey.
Maybe this is a magical ending.
Hands up. I'm not doing anything.
Okay, let's get now that... let's get into Seesaw. I'll go first if you want to finish this off.
Yeah, you might as well.
Finish me off.
With the pressure now, I don't know, but... Why don't you go first?
Okay. Something I want to see, and I'm not even embarrassed to say I want to see it. Outer Banks Season 5. I don't care. Outer Banks is a show that I admit sucks. But I am so invested in these characters and the storyline, and it is just good TV that I don't care that it sucks. And I know that it sucks. Seasons 1 and 2 are genuinely good. 3, 4, and I've watched a little bit of 5. I haven't finished it. 3, 4, and 5 suck. And I really want to finish season 5, see how they end it. I'm going to be real with you. You know, Netflix does not have a good track record of ending shows. The season 5 finale, the series finale, is the highest rated episode of the entire show with like a 9.1 right now on IMDb. So I'm very excited to see how Outer Banks finishes off its final season. I thought it was going to be terrible. I was going into it being like, this show's going to end horribly, but I'm invested. It might be good. If you watch that show or you gave up on it or whatever, you might be pleasantly surprised. I don't know. It's a show that is pretty ass and the writing is pretty terrible, but it's fun. So I'm going to watch it anyway. And something that I saw is something we talked about earlier that I haven't used for my Seesaw yet, I don't think. I saw Lanterns episodes 1 and 2. And all I want to say is that this show so far is fucking phenomenal. Like, genuinely, if they continue the way they're handling this mystery, these characters, these themes, this plot, if they continue it the way they have for the first 2 episodes, because the other one, episode 2 dropped last night, I think. This could be the best thing in the DCU, better than the Superman. So far, they have not missed a mark on a single scene, on a single part of the dialogue, on a single action shot, CGI. Nothing has missed anything for me in these first 2 episodes. And maybe I'm glazing the shit into oblivion. I don't care. I love it. Lanterns episodes 1 and 2 are genuinely so good, and I recommend. I know you got some stuff spoiled for you, but I definitely recommend watching it as soon as possible. And we're going to talk about it in a full in-depth review when we're done with the season. But I'm very excited to talk about it because as of right now, I love it, and I'm not really going to update anyone on how I feel about it until the end of it. So I might, by the end of the show, just like House of the Dragon, my opinion might be very different than what I feel now. But right now, I feel like this show is awesome.
Yeah. I thought you were gonna go with your. I saw you rewatched Fantastic Four.
I did. I showed it to my girlfriend, and she actually really enjoyed it. But
I thought that was gonna be your. Yeah. I do have to watch Lanterns. All right. Something that I saw. One of these was my C like a few months ago, and I finally did it. And I'm doing 2 for 1, but it will make sense. I rewatched La La Land for its 10th anniversary in theaters, which was amazing. I can't believe that movie's already 10 years old. So I decided the next day, rewatch Moonlight. Do both. Revisit the famous La La Land Moonlight debacle Best Picture race from 10 years ago and just see how the movies hold up. Now, I had seen La La Land many times over the years since it first came out. That was my first rewatch in theaters, though, since it first came out. It is one of the most magical movies of all time. It's the way I described it on my letterbox. I just was like writing down every word that I could think of that I felt. I was imaginative. It's vibrant. It's romantic. It's tragic. It's hopeful. It's funny. It's enchanting. It's theatrical. It's entertaining. I love this movie. Like every time I watch La La Land, I fall in love with it over and over again. I think Mia and Sebastian are 2 of the most immortalized characters in cinema history. I think the music is incredible. I could listen to it forever. I think it's just one of the greatest screenplays ever written. I love the story. I think it's such a beautiful story of, balance between finding love, chasing your dreams, and the sacrifice that comes with the chase, for creative greatness. There's just it's just such a human experience at the core of this movie. Yeah, I love it. It's one of my all-time favorites. And I remember when it came out for Best Picture, and that whole thing with Warren Beatty, when he announced it, and then it was actually Moonlight. I didn't like Moonlight at the time. We were 16. I finally watched it when I was 17. And, I wasn't really a big fan. I thought that Moonlight was, really unique in the way that it explores sexuality. But I wasn't very into it, at the time. And I never rewatched it in all the years since I saw it, like almost a decade ago that I watched Moonlight. I haven't rewatched it. I was like, well, I need to, see. So I rewatched Moonlight, and I know this is a long seesaw, but this was a shorter episode. So I want to revisit this, and look, do I like Moonlight more than La La Land? No. La La Land is like literally one of my all-time favorites. That is a high bar. I think my doorbell just went off. Did you hear that?
I saw you jolt from it.
Holy shit. I don't know what that was.
Well, nobody's answering that.
It might have been a delivery because I think I just heard someone. All right. I might need to go get that.
All right. You want to finish up real quick? We got 2 seconds.
No, wait. I don't know what it is. There was people who came by before. It was just like Verizon guys.
Oh, okay. What do you want to do?
That's their problem. As far as they know, I'm just not home.
Yeah, you're busy.
Probably just Verizon again.
You're out. Fuck those guys for interrupting your seesaw.
Yeah, man. I was in the middle. I was doing a whole nice one too. Probably the nicest seesaw I've ever had, and they just fucked up my whole thing.
Your vibe is off now.
That scared the shit out of me.
I literally, if people can replay this, you go, like,
because I'm like, I was like way in thought.
You're in the zone. I know.
I was in the zone. I was like, in Seoul when they're in like that zone.
Yeah, dude, you were in
like
the
they
zone.
drift away. I was in that. But yeah, you know, no, like as I was saying, like La La Land is one of my favorite movies of all time.
Yeah.
But I love this movie. I love Moonlight. Absolutely, completely loved it in a way that I couldn't at the time when I was 17, because I just was not emotionally mature enough. You know what I mean? To like fully appreciate like the importance of that story and of the representation that comes with it. Moonlight is this quiet, poetic character study that follows this black man as he explores his sexuality amidst a very harsh, unforgiving environment, toxic masculinity, drug abuse, you know, lack of parental guidance. And we see this through these like 3 vignettes, one when he's a little kid, one when he's like a teen in school, and one when he's an adult. And I just think it's absolutely brilliant. I absolutely think it's breathtaking. I mean, the cinematography is beautiful. The performances are heartbreaking. And it's just such an important film. You know what I mean? With that representation, I completely get why it won Best Picture. Obviously, besides all that, also with the Academy, what they were going through at the time, the whole Oscar so white scandal. I don't know if you remember that, but that was a whole big problem. So I love La La Land. La La Land, one of my favorites of all time. But after rewatching both, I love both movies. I always thought that I would love Moonlight on a rewatch too. You know what I mean? Like I was always like, yeah, if I revisit that, I'm sure I'll love it. And I do. I love both, but I get why Moonlight won. So that's something I saw. And then something I want to see is the new upcoming Apple TV show Brothers with Matthew McConaughey and Woody Harrelson, where they basically are playing like exaggerated versions of themselves.
Yeah,
as
I forgot
brothers.
about this.
I just saw like the new poster drop, and you know, Apple TV has like quickly become my favorite streaming service as of right now.
Yeah, I've been
watching so much stuff on their streamings, on their, you know, on their content. And this looks so good. So I'm very excited for that. And I didn't have this one down, but since you brought it up, I will also be watching the last season of Outer Banks. I have a very interesting history with this show. I remember watching the first season with my then girlfriend. She was the one who got me into it. And then we broke up. I kept watching it. And then it got bad, and I still kept watching it.
Right, dude?
And I would not call it good television like you would. It is not good television, but it is guilty pleasure television.
Yes, and it's entertaining.
It is entertaining television. And I feel like also, if I knew that this show was going to go on for another 3 or 4 seasons, I probably would tap out.
Yeah, me too.
It's the last season, so I might as well finish the story.
Yeah, it's 10 episodes.
Especially where they left off, you know, with JJ and everything.
Yeah,
I kind of want to see what happens. So
yeah,
couple of shows coming out that I'm looking forward to.
Yeah. No, I'm with that. I'm glad you're with me on that. You just gotta own up to it. It's kind of embarrassing, but you gotta own up to it and be like, I watch
everyone has a guilty pleasure in life. Everyone. Exactly. And if you say you don't, you're lying, and you just don't want to tell us what it is.
Yeah, which means it's way worse than watching Outer Banks.
Which is way worse, because Outer Banks is like, that's like, you know, it's a guilty pleasure, but like, it's not like we're sitting around without kids watching Cocomelon. It's not like
it's fine, but you're a fucking weirdo if you don't want to tell us your guilty pleasure.
Yeah, fucking weirdo.
It's some weird shit you're on.
You probably log the porn on Letterboxd.
Yeah, they probably have an actual website.
They do have porn on Letterboxd.
Yeah. Really?
Yeah, there is porn on Letterboxd.
That's crazy. There's definitely people who log that, and like all their followers are like, "What the fuck?"
That's what I'm saying. Yeah. So.
Wow.
Never forget when I first learned that one.
Yeah, you're like, let me log this.
Yeah, I was like, oh, that was such a good movie. I want to see if that's on Letterboxd. Log it.
All right. Thank you everybody for watching. Here's your fire ending that you've all been waiting for. Follow us at Box Office Dynasty on all socials, and thank you for commenting the 777 that we will be watching, which is a new leaf for our Bible study, film Bible movie. Yeah, what do you got?
Yeah, some fire ending you got, Jag.
I was trying to think of something.
Yeah, what do you got? Yeah, I don't have much to say about how whole season of House of the Dragon. You actually had a lot to say.
I did. It was quite a bit. It was quite mouthy.
You underestimate yourself. I tell you. You're always like, I don't think I have much to say. And then you just yap.
I feel like I look at the time, I'm like, damn, I'm only going to take 3 minutes. And then I talk, and it's like 20 minutes later. I'm like, oh, okay.
Yeah, you're like, oh shit. You're like, I need to shut up.
Yeah.
Hey, welcome to my world basically every week on this podcast.
Oh, dude, I see the timestamp. I see everything. I'm
Jack
like,
sits there. You're sitting there. You're like kind of like doing the thing with the nails on the table where you're like doing that. You're just like, yeah, come on.
Just waiting for my turn.
No, yeah, okay. Well, that's it. This is your fire ending.
Wait, maybe we should. Oh, it looked like you're gonna pull your shirt up. That'd be a fire ending.
Oh no! Well, you can't disappoint if we just don't end the episode. Like
that's true. This is gonna be a 24-hour stream now.
Yeah, we're just Twitch streamers.
No, get us to I don't know, 11,000 followers on TikTok, and Josh and I will violently make out with each other on camera. How's that for an ending?
I will do that if we get one more follower. I will do it for one more follower.
I'll do that if someone unfollows us.
No, I'll do it. We'll delete the entire TikTok and then we'll just make out.
Yeah,
we won't record it for anyone. We'll just do it.
We'll just do. I mean, who's to say? Anyway, all right.
All right. Well, here. Jack, will you marry me? That's how we'll end.
Fuck. No, dude. What the hell?
What the fuck? No. What do you mean no?
You're gonna spoil Outer Banks for me if we do that.
You know what? What do you mean spoil Outer Banks? How come if we get married, why would I spoil Outer Banks?
No, I don't want to marry you because you're a bum who doesn't answer his front door.
Bro, I'm fucking.
What if that was me?
People.
What if that was me locked outside and I wanted to come home to my husband, my gay husband? And you did not open the door for me.
You should know that
because you're filming a podcast.
If you were my gay husband, if we were lovers, you would know that this is podcast time, and that comes before anything else.
I'd be crawling through the window. You'd
be coming up the damn fire escape that doesn't even exist.
All right, fair enough. I'll take your hand in marriage.
Thank you.
All right, goodbye, everybody.
See you at the wedding. See you next week. Yeah, see you at the wedding. Yeah, you're all invited. Yeah. Woo! No plus ones.
No, fuck that.